here in Ayodhya after what has been an absolutely epical moment for Indian civilization and the country. I'm joining you from Ram Ki Pedi in Ayodhya, which is getting set with 1,000 diyas for the Deepotsav. It is being celebrated as a second Diwali tonight here in Ramnagri, and behind me Ram Ki Pedi is getting ready for lots and lots of diyas to illuminate the banks of the Saryu. I'm Shivani Gupta. You're watching a very special edition of Plain Speak. We'll be joined by many guests who will talk to us about the message, particularly that the Prime Minister has given today on the occasion of the Pran Pratishtha of Lord Ram Lalla in the new Bhavya temple. What does that mean for India? He talked about that, but will his message really resonate? That's something we'll take forward with our guests. A lot of the guests who've attended the program today will be joining us live and exclusively. First up, a quick, brief peek into what the Prime Minister said today. Remember, he had a message that Ram se Rashtra hai. But will that message resonate? He talked about how Ram aag nahi hai, Ram urja hai. Ram vivad nahi hai, Ram samadhan hai. And therein lies the message for the entire country. Take a look.
हमारे राम लला अब टेंट में नहीं रहेंगे। हमारे राम लला अब इस दिव्य मंदिर में रहेंगे। प्रभु श्री राम से क्षमा याचना भी करता। हमारे पुरुषार्थ, हमारे त्याग, तपस्या में कुछ तो कमी रह गई होगी कि हम इतनी सदियों तक ये कार्य कर नहीं पाए। प्रभु राम आज हमें अवश्य क्षमा करेंगे।
बोलो सियावर रामचंद्र की।
गुलामी की मानसिकता को तोड़कर उठ खड़ा हो राष्ट्र ऐसे ही नव इतिहास का सृजन करता है। आज गांव-गांव में एक साथ कीर्तन हो रहे हैं। आज मंदिरों में उत्सव हो रहे हैं। स्वच्छता अभियान चलाए जा रहे हैं। पूरा देश आज दीपावली मना रहा है। मैं आभार व्यक्त करूंगा भारत की न्यायपालिका का, जिसने न्याय की लाज रख ली।
Will the Prime Minister's message resonate or not? Will it really be taken in by the detractors that we've seen aplenty as far as this program is concerned? Let me introduce some of our guests joining us. Smita Prakash is editor ANI. She was also there as an invitee at the program. Ravi Bhatt is historian, also joining us. With me at Ram Ki Pedi are two special guests. His Holiness Shri Raj Rajeshwar Guruji, Dharma Guru, founder of the International Siddha Ashram Shakti Center, is joining me here. Along with him is Trikal Darshi, Shri Ram Lalla Sarkar Maharaj जी छोटी छावनी से हैं वो, और हमारे साथ कुछ भजन भी करेंगे, कुछ राम के लिए कुछ गाने भी सुनाएंगे, बिकॉज बहुत बड़ा मोमेंट है ये पूरी कंट्री के लिए, पूरे विश्व के लिए, जब राम लल्ला विराजमान हुए हैं और उनका प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हुआ है, और इसके साथ ही हमें फाइनली राम मंदिर मिला है। Smita Prakash, why don't I begin with you? You were there at the event. Was it everything that we hear it was? Was it everything that it looked like? Was it everything that you imagined?
It was Shivani. I think all of us sitting out there felt just so moved, and felt so special that many of us felt that we've been like chosen or something like that, that for such a civilizational moment, we were lucky enough to have been invited to be part of this event, and felt very honored to be there. And I think the speech really touched a chord in all of us, because when he said that, it's not just a reflection of religion. It's a matter of our society, and the society in the country is ready for it. And many things that he said, which you just pointed out about asking for forgiveness, that it's taken so much time for us to find our purusharth. And I think it is also defining that, some of us who've been covering Ayodhya for a long time, I've been here before, and I've seen Ram Lalla's Murti behind bars as such. So for us, it never seemed that it's going to be possible. It is something that is kept promising, but it wouldn't happen. But somehow the country was ready for it. And I think India was ready for it. Indians were ready for it when it actually has happened today. So it really felt like it wasn't just a BJP or an RSS or a VHP or a Hindu event. It was a national event.
Okay. Ravi Bhatt, I want to come to you as well. What did you make of the Prime Minister's message? Because he really outlined, and some are saying that even for an orator like Narendra Modi, it was one of his best speeches, particularly where he defined Lord Ram and what he means for India, everything that he stands for. Ram hi Bharat ka aadhar hai, is one of the lines he said. What do you make of the message he gave and the importance of Lord Ram that he captured in words today?
See, let's be very clear on one part, that no nation, no society can ever develop, not even a civilization can develop, unless they don't have an ideal before them. And Lord Rama, the Maryada Purushottam, means that the person who is ideal, an ideal person. So that is how the entire Sanatan Dham, people, in the history of Sanatan Dham, the Ram had been visualized as an ideal person. So what Prime Minister has said, that if we have this ideal, though then every single person or every single citizen as individual and as a collectively also, the masses of the India, the citizens of the India, as a society, they have something to look upon, that this is an ideal goal where we have to reach, which will lead us to the height of spirituality as well as the physical achievements also, mental achievements also. So this is what is, see, it's a very balanced speech which he has given, and in this he has emphasized both the things, not only the spiritual and religious, but otherwise also the worldly things also one can achieve, because the way we project Lord Rama, he is not only a spiritual leader, he is not only a religious leader, but he is an ideal person who is the combined of the best of the things which is required for human being and Indian society.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But this is something that has been said about Lord Ram for forever, right? Which is why he's revered as much as he is in the Hindu faith or in Indian civilization, Smita. Before I go across to our location guests as well, I want to understand from you, do you believe that message will really resonate and will be taken in? Because there are a lot of detractors who had issues, not just with the event, but in the past they have had issues with Lord Ram worship as well. What do you make of how well was the Prime Minister able to convince everyone that, listen, this is not about any divide, this is about coming together? He also said that with this, now that we finally have Ram Lalla's Mandir, where we have waited for him, or he has waited for it for a very long time. त्रेता युग में 14 साल का वनवास था, लेकिन कलयुग में 500 साल लग गए, इंतजार करना पड़ा लॉर्ड राम को. He also talked about कि अब वो आ गए हैं तो आगे क्या, और उनका मतलब था, his aim was to say that we have to make most of this moment, like he keeps saying, yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai. He talked about India's development as well, or gave a message of that. But on the issue of Ram itself, do you believe his message will really resonate and be taken in by the detractors?
I get that, Shivani, when you say that there are detractors. Actually, even as you are speaking and as I'm speaking, I can hear crackers going all over the place. The Deepotsav has begun, and you are running visuals also of the lights at the banks of the Saryu River, if I'm not mistaken, which you're running. And you're going to be showing, I'm sure, Diwali being celebrated, or the second Diwali, or the first Diwali of 2024 for that matter, which the Prime Minister sent out a message that see there the fireworks are going in Ayodhya. Yeah, so the detractors, Shivani, which you asked me about, it's fine. You know, we are a democracy, and it's not necessary that everybody has to immediately fall in line with what the Prime Minister has said. But the message that the Prime Minister gave out is that Maryada Purushottam is somebody who listens to everybody, who's the reign in Treta Yuga was all about being just and giving a voice to the unheard, giving a voice to those who were subjugated. So he was one of the most democratic rulers of his time. And we have to not just worship Lord Rama as an idol or as a lord, as a god, but his ideals, and to work towards it. Because he kept saying, अब मंदिर बन गया है तो फिर आप लोग सब सोचेंगे अब इसके बाद क्या? I'm paraphrasing it. Those are not his exact words, but it's true. Many of us went, "Acha chalo ye ho gaya." And from the audience, some people said Kashi Mathura, but that's not what the Prime Minister said. He didn't give a target for the next temple to be constructed. What he said was that we have to do our duty, which is Indians have to do their duty towards, one, he said towards society. Second, he said towards the country. And third, he said towards the entire world. You know, he said that this is part of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This is part of us as Indians giving guidance, giving service, giving karma, doing karma, which will benefit society. And then he etched out, he talked about Shabari, he talked about several other instances from Lord Ram's life, which are for us to learn from and emulate. And that, he said, will lead to a kind of a Ram Raj, which Yogi ji also mentioned in his speech. Back to you, Shivani.
Absolutely. मेरे साथ श्री राज राजेश्वर गुरुजी भी हैं. आप लंदन से आए हैं, आप प्रोग्राम में थे. आज कैसा लगा, सबसे पहले तो ये बताइए.
सबसे पहली बात तो ये है कि भगवान राम जी के मंदिर में सामने सबसे बड़ा इतिहास मुझे लगा कि 500 साल पहले जो घटना घटी थी, मगर आज जो काल चक्र में जैसे मोदी जी ने कहा उसका हम साक्षी बने, वो सबसे बड़ा सौभाग्य. हृदय का भाव ऐसे लगा कि भगवान राम जी अभी ही यहाँ आए, बैठे, और अभी आज से राम राज्य की शुरुआत हुई.
तो राम राज्य की आप बात करते हैं, कुछ लोग सवाल भी उठाते हैं उस पे, राम राज्य पे, आज के प्रोग्राम पे. प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने जो मैसेज दिया आज राम के बारे में, वो आपको कैसा लगा?
उन्होंने जो संदेश दिया पूर्ण रूप से भगवान राम के जीवन के चरित्र को लेकर किया, चित्र को लेकर किया, जीवन की यात्रा को लेकर किया. और वो वैसी यात्रा कि राम एक ऊर्जा है, राम एक अपने आप में,
राम एक आग नहीं, राम एक ऊर्जा है. और ऊर्जा को आप कैसे इस्तेमाल करें ये आप पे डिपेंड करता है.
देखो, उसमें हमारी दृष्टि कैसी है. कि अगर आग नहीं, इसका मतलब आग तो किसी को जला भी देती है, ऊर्जा किसी को शक्ति देती है. और ऊर्जा वो है, हर मानव को इस भगवान राम के जीवन यात्रा से सीखना चाहिए कि जीवन में बैठना नहीं, ये ऊर्जावान है और हर ऊर्जा में एक सनातनी छुपा हुआ है, उसको सो मत जागो, यही ऊर्जा है.
तो आप लंदन से आए हैं, बाहर, भारत के बाहर विश्व में आपको क्या लगता है, क्या संदेश गया है? बहुत लोगों ने जो इंडिया से हैं, इंडियन ओरिजिन है, एनआरआई हैं, भारतीय हैं, उन्होंने तो सेलिब्रेट किया ही, लेकिन विदेशी लोग भी बहुत सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं. आपको लगता है विदेश में क्या मैसेज जा रहा है?
बिल्कुल. 16 तारीख को हमने ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट के अंदर इनकी सेलिब्रेशन स्टार्ट कर दी थी सनातन संस्था के माध्यम से, और वहां के सांसद बॉब ब्लैकमैन और मैं स्वयं उपस्थित था उसमें. और वहां से हम देख सकते हैं कि हमारे सनातनियों ने वहां भी झंडा गाड़ा है, और उस झंडे के माध्यम से किसका आशीर्वाद प्राप्त हुआ? भगवान राम जी का. और आज भी हमारे सिद्धाश्रम इंग्लैंड हैरो के अंदर आज जितने भी फ्रूट है, वो फ्रूट के माध्यम से अंकुट किया जा रहा है, और लोग बैठ करके भगवान श्री राम का मंत्र जाप कर रहे हैं, हनुमान चालीसा का पाठ करें ना, कि हजारों किलोमीटर दूर रह करके, जैसे मोदी जी ने बताया कि राम आग नहीं ऊर्जा है, वो विदेश में भी ऊर्जा चालू है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. थिकलदर्शी जी, हम बैठे हैं राम की पैड़ी पे, बहुत ही सुहानी ये शाम है, यहाँ दिए जल रहे हैं, दीपोत्सव मनाया जा रहा है, छोटी दिवाली मनाई जा रही है, दूसरी दिवाली मनाई जा रही है. अभी थोड़ी देर में मैं अपने दर्शकों को बता दूं, यहाँ पे लाइट एंड साउंड लेजर शो होता है, वो भी शुरू होने वाला है. तो जितनी जल्दी हो सके आप हमें कुछ सुना दीजिए। आज राम लला अपने भव्य मंदिर में आ गए हैं, उनका प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो गया है, तो आज के दिन क्या गाते हैं हम?
सर्वप्रथम समस्त विश्व के चैतन्य मनुष्य को मेरा कोट कोट वंदन प्रणाम, आपको कोट कोट साधुवाद। और हमारे बड़े भाई श्री राजराजेश्वर जी पधारे हैं। आज का जो पल है, आज का जो दिन है, वह गौरव का विषय है, आनंद का विषय है। और इस पल को, इस विषय को लेके अगर देखा जाए तो भाग्य उदयन बहुजन्म समर्जितेन सप्त संगम च लभते पुरुषो यदा वही, इस बात को लेके हम कहेंगे यह करोड़ों जन्म का पूर्ण तिथि हुआ है, तभी हम लोगों को यह पल देखने को मिला है। आनंद लेने का विषय है ये। इस पल को साकार करने के लिए आइए एक छोटा सा सुंदर भजन गाते हैं। रामलला सरकार के श्री चरणों में भजन समर्पित है, आप सब गाइएगा साथ में। राम राम बोल मेरे प्यारे मन को, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल मेरे प्यारे मन को। राम राम बोल मेरे प्यारे मन को, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल मेरे प्यारे मन को। पानी हरी गुल गाए, कोई कोई सम्मिलन हो जाए, कभी न समझ लेना प्रभु की कृपा होगी। राम राम बोल मेरे प्यारे मन को, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल मेरे प्यारे मन को। क्रोध किसी
बहुत सही बात करी आपकी, बहुत बुलंद आवाज है, बहुत अच्छा लगा सुन के। आपके पास दोबारा भी लौटेंगे, लेकिन जो बात इन्होंने करी कि किसी पे क्रोध नहीं और किसी का दुख देख के आपको भी दुख आ जाए, यही राम का निष्कर्ष है। I want to go across to our other guests who are joining us as well. Smita, I'm coming to you. You know, you look at these visuals, you look at what has happened, particularly in the 2-week run-up to the Pran Pratishtha event today. You look at what Ayodhya has been witnessing, what the entire country has been witnessing. You look at what Ayodhya is today. Some people are a little bit nervous about it. Some people are worried. Some people are worried about our secular values. They're worried that India has become a Hindu Rashtra. What do you want to say to them?
यार जिसको वरी करना है ना वो किसी चीज के लिए भी वरी करेगा ना. So I was like, you know, there seems to be no worry other than in the minds of people who want to see negativity. I didn't see anything which I mean, you're in the city too, you're in Ayodhya too. You've been here for longer than I have. There is no sense of anxiety or nervousness or jitteriness anywhere in this place. Ayodhya never had, in fact. Even in during the riots which happened, people kept saying out here, you know, in the 90s when during the कार सेवक movement and rest, everybody kept saying ये बाहर से लोग आके यहाँ पे दंगा मचाते हैं, दंगाई हैं, यहाँ पे तो हम शांति से रहते हैं and things like that. So, you know, Ayodhya has a history of not being a violence prone state. And as far as the temple is concerned, people are just happy about it. So, you know, those who want to crib and complain will find some reason or the other. The point is that as a traditional culture, Ayodhya welcomes it. And as far as the people are concerned, not just of Ayodhya, but of the country, I think the Prime Minister said it, and so did Yogi Adityanath, that it's not just Hindu society which was ready for it, the country itself was ready for it. And we have, the swa has come out, you know, the self-confidence or the sense of being an Indian has come to the forefront, where we are not embarrassed about our culture, about our traditions, about who we are historically. And part of that is the civilizational link to whether it is law drama, whether it is our secularism, whether it is our constitution, our democratic credentials. We are not embarrassed about any of this, and they run parallel to each other. They intersect between each other. They run. That is the best part about being an Indian, that we have several identities within one identity. So, me being a Hindu, or the other person being a Muslim, or the third person being a Sikh, it doesn't matter. We have one civilizational ethos, regardless of which path we practice. That is why the word dharma itself is not just religion. It has more connotations. I don't want to sound like a religious scholar out here, but just as a journalist, speaking to so many religious scholars, one gets the impression that, it is something that binds us all as Indians, and not just one particular religion or one particular sect.
Yeah, I mean, Swati Goyal is joining us. She's, of course, a very prominent writer for Swarajya magazine and reporter. Swati, you were there at the event. I'm sure it was a huge occasion for you. Just before I ask you about your experience and about what you felt was the message, about the message from the Prime Minister, I should mention that, there are world media and press that are looking for stories right now about how Muslims are in fear. This is something we've seen, of course, over the last 10 years, particularly. And how, because of the Ram temple construction and because this is coming up in Ayodhya, it is some sort of a marker of Hindu nationalism or Hindutva, etc., and very aggressive form of it. And it is making our minorities nervous. They've been looking for stories of, Muslims going away from India because of this. On that note, can I just say, the chief litigant in this case,
Yes,
Mr.
exactly.
Ansari, is from Ayodhya. He has lived all his life in Ayodhya. He continues to live in Ayodhya and has never felt unsafe and has never felt the need to go anywhere. I think that in itself should tell the larger global community and the public of what it means to be the chief litigator against Ram Temple in Ayodhya, which is the birthplace of Lord Ram, and never feeling any fear for your life. That is what is important as far as the India story and Ayodhya story is concerned. Swati, coming to you. First up, share a little bit about your experience. And we are talking about the speech that the Prime Minister gave, how he talked about Ram for Rashtra or Ram se Rashtra. What did you make of his message?
Yes, Shivani. First of all, I hope to meet you here in Ayodhya, since you are also here. And I only for like 30 minutes came to the hotel just to charge my phone and to do some stuff.
This is the second time we are not meeting face to face, Swati, while both of us.
But we will.
Swati, this is the second time we are not meeting face to face while both of us have been in Ayodhya.
Absolutely. That's because there is so much to cover in Ayodhya. There is so many people to talk to, and you know it very well. See, यहाँ पर अयोध्या में, I was there at the event the whole time, and I can tell you the energy, the bhakti that people have. It's just, see, it's the biggest celebration I have seen in my life. It's like the biggest mela. It's the biggest, like a festival of joy I have seen in my life. Thousands of, I think, people, into tens of thousands of people were standing outside Ram Mandir, knowing very well that they cannot enter today, but they just were standing there. And when we were all coming out with our prasad and with our basically just coming out of the whole event, they were like doing Jai Shri Ram. Some of us were even touching our feet. It was so emotional. And then I saw a group of Sardars. They were doing bhangra, and they showered flower petals on everyone, including me. It was just so much fun. I mean, see, that is the thing. And this was always. This building of a temple was always going to be a very joyous moment for people because of their bhakti for Ram, because of the fact that they never identified with somebody called Babur, with an invader named Babur, and they never identified with whatever he built. It was, see, again, I'm repeating one thing, which I don't think has been said enough times on television. Ayodhya people are not against mosques. There are a lot of mosques in Ayodhya. They're all there, you know. People were fighting only for one structure, which they thought that there was their Janmabhoomi, and it was very wrongly encroached upon. It was very wrongly demolished, and then a temple was built over it. So they're not against mosques. In fact, Hanuman Gadi temple, you know, the Mahant of the Hanuman Gadi temple has helped rebuild a mosque called Alamgir Mosque. You should read about it. People should read about it. So it was always about this, you know, very deep desire people had for this birthplace of Ram. They wanted to see a temple there. And today the devotion is unmatched. I mean, you are here and you know it very well. It's just, you know, the entire stretch from the Ram Janmabhoomi to my hotel, it's filled with people on the streets. They're like distributing tea, they're distributing sweets, they're just showering petals on people, or they're just doing Jai Shri Ram, and they're they're going to stand here for like 11 or 12 p.m. today in the night, and they're just going to, you know, just partake in the celebration. And I'm sure there will be a lot of crowd of people tomorrow.
You know, you have to be really small, and this is a message. I'm sorry, I'm giving this message to some people, but you have to be really small in your heart if you're going to begrudge the people, the faithfuls enjoying at least today. And I know people have been complaining on social media through the day. Have the heart to at least allow people one day to enjoy. But Swati, before I go across the panel on what this means for India, I want your thoughts on the Prime Minister's speech. राम आग नहीं ऊर्जा है, राम विवाद नहीं समाधान है, राम भारत का आधार है.
Yes.
Beautiful speech by the Prime Minister. What did you make of it, and do you think that message will sink in? Will we stop this bitterness, especially over this temple?
Absolutely, Shivani. Dev se desh, Ram se rash. First of all, I don't think this slogan in any way is, demeans any community or minorities or anything. It's basically like he always prefers to drink his tea from a tea stall run by a Hindu. I think this message of harmony and message of inclusiveness was very much there in the PM speech. He did not name any community. He only talked about the country. He only talked about progress. He only talked about how he saw the country as Vishwa Guru, actually, and obviously, I mean, if we all live in harmony and we take into consideration the sentiment of the majority, because as I said, it was not against all mosques or anything. It was just, again, one place which they always revered as Ram Janmabhoomi. So it's given to them and they are just so happy and celebrating. First of all, I heard no anti community, any hate slogans at all since I've been here. There are only slogans singing praises of Ram. They're only singing praises of this rush, actually. So this exactly was the PM speech. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. गुरुजी, आप एक बार फिर से अब फाइनल कमेंट में ये भी बताइए कि आपको लगता है कि इस मोमेंट से आज जो हुआ 500 साल की स्ट्रगल रही है, भारतीयों के लिए बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट था ये मंदिर बनना, और इसको समझाना बड़ा मुश्किल है कि क्यों इतना इम्पोर्टेंट था, बट है इम्पोर्टेंट. हमारी सिविलाइजेशन, संस्कृति, प्रधानमंत्री ने बोला, उससे जुड़ा हुआ है और बहुत इंतजार किया. उस इंतजार को आज धरोहर मिली है हमें. उन्होंने बोला जो धैर्य दिखाया है उसकी धरोहर मिली है हमें. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि इसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा भारत पे?
मेरे ख्याल से इनका इम्पैक्ट भारत पे तो एक श्रद्धा, समर्पण, विश्वास की संस्कृति है हमारी. उसमें धैर्य रखने से, 500 साल अगर धैर्य रखने से एक बहुत अच्छा एक फ्रूट मिलता है, एक राम मंदिर ही मिलता है, एक राम की ऊर्जा मिलती है. तो उसका संदेश ये है कि धैर्य रखने से सब कुछ प्राप्त हो जाता है.
जी जी, धैर्य बहुत बड़ी चीज है. रवि भट्ट, what do you think? This moment is being seen as a shift in Indian civilization, in Indian mentality. Many believed that while we got independence from the Britishers in 1947, mentally and in terms of our minds, we were still occupied. Do you believe that this marks a moment where we are finally shedding gulami ka mindset, as the Prime Minister says? If this is a change moment, if this is a turnover, how do you describe it? What kind of change do you foresee?
I very clearly see that it's like mentally decolonizing our mindset. This is one of the major event in the Sanatan civilization in the recent years. I mean, after centuries, And even the Muslims, I tell you, even if it is only the handful of the Muslims which are against it and who keep on talking. It's like you are putting on white dress and only one ink spot is thrown on it, so it is more visible. I'm quite sure that since there was a lot of confusion about this, now this temple, when it is reconstructed here in such a grand way, which was in the 11th century. Basically, this temple was believed to be built where the Lord Ram was born. It was supposed to be built by the Gadwal rulers in the 11th century. Now, after that, after the 11th century, and now you start counting it, now this is the first time that at such a grand level it is being made. So now what happens, even this gives a moral support to the majority community. Because I'm going to talk something very, very exceptional. You go to any city of the India and you just give the instruction to the people, they should start measuring that how much place is occupied by the churches, how much place is occupied by the mosques. And let me tell you, you'll find a very small percentage of the place is occupied by the Hindu community, which is the majority community. You go anywhere, you go to Lucknow, you go to Delhi, you go to any part of the country. So now this is the percentage has been very meager. Now this magnificent temple, after being constructed, this will give the moral support to the Hindus also. Yes, our religion, I'm talking the people who are initiated, the younger generation who are hardly 15 to 20, they'll understand no, our religion is also a major religion, and we must try to know the intricacies of it and how it can help us to make our society better. So this is simply you're changing your mindset, and the PM's speech is an icing on the cake when he has reminded us that we should understand it. And this magnificent temple, this grand event has thus given an opportunity and chance to the masses, even younger generation, to have rebuild the faith in our own civilization. And the Hindu civilization and Sanatan civilization is almost the same. The majority of the people who have been facing injustice for centuries. I am again reminding 11th century. From 11th century to this date. Now this is the best event which could even enjoy, which could have for the Hindus here. And if you permit me, I'll give an example when I said
to Himanshu Gulati. Yeah, sir, just hold your thought. Himanshu Gulati, MP of Norway and also one of the special invitees, is joining us now. Mr. Gulati, thanks a lot for your time. Share your thoughts with us. How important, how special was this moment today? And what did you like the best about your experience today?
We always knew this was going to be a historic event, but being there, feeling the energy and the celebratory, the celebration in the air was a very unique experience. And I think that the speeches, all the three speeches, just reiterated the significance of this event in a historical perspective. So I hope that the whole country of India, but also that people from around the world take part in this celebration and mark this significant day.
Himanshuji, the India's nationalism, the Prime Minister has kind of, tied it around Lord Ram and his ideals. He gave a beautiful speech today, and there is a difference in how India views itself and what it views are a nation's ideals, which come from Lord Ram, versus what a lot of other nations, particularly European nations or others, may have their view on what is their strength. Our strength are what Lord Ram's ideals are, and it is a little bit different to the nationalism or the national identity for many other countries. How do you see it different from other countries to what India has? Because as the Prime Minister said today, Lord Ram is our identity. He is the very basis of the country, of our civilization.
Religion is, of course, a personal matter, and I don't want to get into a discussion about Indian politics, but at the same time, culture, faith, what we celebrate, our Sanskriti heritage, is also a part of what defines us as human beings, us as culture, and even nations. I live in a Christian nation in Europe. Still, I celebrate Christmas together with my colleagues and friends and neighbors because it's part of the cultural celebration. So, my point is that this historic event should be an event that I hope is significant for all of India, regardless of religion, regardless of a religious debate. It should be coming together and something that one can celebrate as a culture, something that binds the nation together, regardless of what faith one personally believes in.
Absolutely. Himanshu Gulati, I do thank you for joining us, and I hope you had a great time and you carry forward a lot of memories when you go back to Norway.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. On that note, we're just about waiting for the light and sound show that is set to begin behind me at the Ram Ki Padi in just a bit. Take a look. I want our team to show you exactly what's happening behind me. Take a look at these visuals, mesmerizing beauty of the Ram Ki Padi. And of course, today it has just become so much more special. And as we look at those visuals, I want Trikaldarshi ji कि एक बार फिर से राम लल्ला के स्वागत में हमको कुछ सुना दीजिए।
श्री राम लल्ला सरकार के चरणों में मैं एक आरती लिखा हूँ और इस आरती को भगवान श्री राम लल्ला सरकार के चरणों में समर्पित करता हूँ। हे राम तेरी आरती गाऊं, हे मेरे राम तेरी आरती गाऊं, आरती गाऊं स्वामी आपको रिझाऊं, आरती गाऊं स्वामी आपको रिझाऊं, हे मेरे राम तेरी आरती गाऊं। शीश में प्रभु जी चंद्र सोए, हाथ धनुहिया राम जी के सोए, हे मेरे स्वामी तेरी आरती गाऊं, राम लल्ला तेरी आरती गाऊं, आरती गाऊं स्वामी आपको रिझाऊं, हे मेरे राम तेरी आरती गाऊं। शरणों से निकली है गंगा प्यारी, जिससे सारी दुनिया तारी, उन्हीं चरणों में मैं शीश झुकाऊं, हरि चरणों में मैं शीश झुकाऊं। राम मेरे राम मेरे राम मेरे राम, हे तेरी आरती गाऊं, दास आया देखना आया पे हो, सुखी दुख जीवन स्वामी साथ आया पे हो, श्री चरणों में मैं बलि जाऊं, हे सुंदर तेरी आरती गाऊं, राम मेरे राम मेरे
बहुत ही बढ़िया, एक तालियां हो जाए त्रिकलदर्शी जी के लिए। मुझे लगता है आपको जल्द ही फिल्मों का भी मौका मिलेगा, और आजकल तो बहुत फिल्में बन रही हैं राम पे, राम के जीवन पे, राम की स्टोरी पे। थैंक यू गुरुजी, राज राजेश्वर जी फॉर जॉइनिंग अस, स्मिता प्रकाश, स्वाति गोयल and Mr. Bhatt as well. We're going to slip into a very short break, but remember, the celebrations here in Ayodhya are not ending. We'll be right back after a very short break.